Here we are again, back at Red Hill Farms, going to catch up with Will. You're here.
I'm back, and I'm not in a driving suit this time.
Have I seen you since Llama? I think I have. Once.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
me and you take our kids to the park. Or was that
We
before
took our kids to the park.
We went to the park.
We did. And you dropped off some hay. No, picked up some hay.
I don't, we've seen each other twice since Llama.
Yeah, well there you go, that's double.
How was Llama? Were you excited?
Llama was awesome. Let's go get a coffee.
Let's get a coffee.
Let's get a coffee. Llama was awesome. We went with our friend Johnny, didn't we?
Yeah, I love Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, saw some kit. I really enjoyed going because it was just a laugh. It was just a day out with you and Johnny.
That was it, really.
And but I would always want to, and every year I mean to do this, and I really want to try and do it next year. I've actually got an April Fool's joke I want to play on somebody that every year I keep forgetting. I guess to like the 30th of April, I'm like, fuck.
It's just podsing it.
No.
Not your friends at podsing.
So, but I know I have got another one for them. But no, every year I mean to go to Llama by myself. I know that sounds weird, but I want to go with my friends one day.
Don't invite me next year.
No. But like, I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff there that I'd be really interested in.
Yeah, and you want.
But when you're sort of there with your mates, you're like, I don't want to have half an hour conversation with this bloke.
Yeah. Put my glasses on if we're going on the road.
Yeah, because you're blind.
It's a legal requirement because
you're that blind.
I'm that blind.
Oh,
yeah.
What kind? You can't see things far away or close up?
I'm short-sighted, so I can't see things. I can only see things up here.
Yeah, up here.
Yeah.
I'm a tiny bit far-sighted, but not so much why I need them for driving.
No, I need them for driving. I need them for watching the telly. Yeah, pretty much everything.
Yeah, no, everything's I'm blind because I drive badly, but I just drive badly. And I just all over the place. No, anyway, Llama. So I know
what you mean. If you're there on your own, you can sort of probably concentrate on the things that you want to see.
I mean, like,
talk to reps and whatnot.
Yeah. So the majority of the inputs on my business. Is that my wife's camera? No. Majority of inputs on my business are bale wrap and plastic wrap, right? I have no fertilizer or chemical costs because of the business type of farm that I run.
Yeah.
So aside from these,
that's smart, man. Fertilizers.
You would do it. I mean, it massively depends on what business you want to do. I do have a lot of muck. So, I counted just walking around 7 or 8 different plastic wrap people, and I went and said hello to one, only for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's because they're the ones I buy my wrap from currently.
Yeah.
But let's face it, it'd be kind of boring for you and Johnny if I wanted to stop at 7 different wrap manufacturers
and talk about
and nerd out. That's not something I want.
I kind of get this. So if you go like one day on your own, then one day
we friends. Yeah, because you want to go and have a laugh. Like.
You do. We had a great time with Johnny, messing about. Just sort of.
Speaking of going and having a laugh, I haven't talked to you about this, but like there is another protest planned in Westminster on the 10th.
Right. Okay.
With tractors.
Okay. I need to tell you about this. I was going to bring this up as well.
What were you going to say?
I've been invited to sing the song.
No.
Yeah. And so me and Dad.
Are you going to do a tractor?
We're not going to go in a tractor because we've got to park. I've got to take a guitar out with me.
I'm tempted to go in a tractor. It's a fair way from us. The reason why
that digger's come from us.
Is it?
Yeah.
The reason why I didn't go last time is it's probably getting on for a 6-hour journey there and back.
Yeah, it's a long way to go.
I was like, I don't want to do that. It's a long way on a tractor. And then I did a Christmas thing where you drive around loads of lights all over the tractor, like to raise money for charity.
Yeah.
All amazing.
Yeah,
Tens of thousands of people come and watch locally. It's like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But it was 6 hours driving in a tractor. So I was like, I'm sort of doing it. I did it for this Christmas thing. Could I do it to protest?
Yeah,
so I might go. You're singing.
Well, yeah, I don't know how many people are going to be there, but the guy is organised.
Thousands, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone who's watching or listening to this, I don't know if this is before or after the fix. When was that? That was 2 weeks yesterday. 2 weeks, 2 days ago, wasn't it?
It's 10, isn't it?
It's 12 days from now. Yeah,
it's a week on Monday.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday today. This makes, because Nick might put us out in 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, this might come out after that.
It was basically 10 days' time. Yeah.
But no, they rang me up. A chap called Douglas rang me up and asked me if I'd do it. And Douglas, yeah. Everything's kids now, isn't it? Love Hughless Douglas. And I said, yeah, I'll do it. And Dad's keen to come down with me, so he's going to come down. I can't do full band because I don't have a backing band.
No.
Let's do like a backing track, so it's just going to be acoustic.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm just saying this as we go. I know that we're doing a podcast, but or YouTube video or whatever. But I do know a guy who does a band. Johnny's brother is in a band. If you wanted a backup band, they do like covers. They did my wedding.
I need drums and bass because I can do guitar and vocals. All I need is guitar, drums and bass.
I might be able to hook you up. I know you want 10 days to plan this.
Yeah, well, I've got 10, 12 days to plan this.
They're farmers. Well, they're farmers.
So they were, okay. This might be onto something.
It might be onto it. We'll talk about that off the thing.
It's logistically difficult.
Logistically very difficult. I'm still tempted to take a tractor down, but I don't know.
Well, do it. I'll see you out there.
Yeah, I feel like, because I'm not a fan of the sort of more, not violent, definitely not violent, but I'm not a fan of the more French protests. I like the ones where you've involved the police and told everyone what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Because I think that's respectful. Not that I particularly love or dislike. I respect the police, whatever. But do you know what I mean? I just think that I just think that you're going to get more out of it, because otherwise you're just going to have an argument where you shouldn't be there, or you should be over here. But if you're going, okay, we're going to have 1,000 tractors on this street, they're going to be arriving from this hour to this hour, they're going to disperse 5 at a time, the whole thing's controlled. It's a bit like when we all went to Westminster on foot and there was no litter.
Yeah.
It shows that we're grown-ups, and it shows that we're not just being grumpy. That's what I mean. Yeah.
The police were on side with us. We left everything really neat and tidy. Lit, like you say.
Yeah.
It keeps. Yeah, and that's sort of a good thing to do, I think. So
you're singing a set.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I mean, I've performed in front of crowds before. I used to do all the time as growing up, as a teenager, in my early 20s and stuff.
A little bit nervous. Just take some acid before you go on stage.
I'll take some acid before I go on stage. Yeah.
Obviously, don't do that.
No, we don't do drugs.
On camera.
Not on camera. No.
Or before we go on stage.
Before we go after the performance, backstage. Yeah, that's fine.
That's just normal.
So
that's exciting as hell.
I was going to ask you if you were going down, and I didn't know if you wanted to come down with it. Me and Dad are going down in the truck, so we can take you if you want.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I'm not going in a tractor, I think I might go.
Yeah, come down with us.
But I still might go in a tractor.
I think you should. What about the ULEZ thing? Is that relevant with the tractor?
So
can you go to London in a tractor?
There's 2 different ULEZs, right? There's the one that encompasses all of London.
Yeah.
And then I think it's the emission charge for the centre. I can't remember what they're called because I'm not a city person.
Shall I go to this Costa or the other one? I like the other one.
Go the other one.
I'm going to go to this.
Yeah. So you don't have to pay ULEZ, but you do have to pay emissions charge. So tractors are exempt from one, but not from the other. But because you're going right into the centre, you have to pay that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
If you go on a farmers to action. Give me no, it's not farmers to action.
I got caught out. We went to Heathrow Airport end of last year.
Oh my god! And there's just you get that one road, and then you have to pay to drive on about 20 metres.
Yeah. It's literally they've extended it. I think in 23, a bit further north.
It's a
big chunk of the M25 is now. But here's the thing though, Will, I didn't know, so I got the fine, didn't I?
Did you?
So I had to pay like bloody 60 quid.
Yeah, it's a fairness for farmers. It's like an event thing. If you're interested in it, I was just finding out. That's the name of the people who are organising it.
I thought the thing was Change Your Tune Starmer. Was it Change?
It is, yeah, but the name. So I think the Facebook site of it is Fairness for Farmers. So this video might come out after the thing, but if you're interested in going, it's got all the details there. To go.
Okay.
And it's the same people who organised the last one. So their heads are screwed up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So
I did an interview yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, for a German TV show.
For a German? Did you speak in German?
I spoke a little bit of German.
Did you?
Not very much.
Because you speak German.
Only a little bit.
You speak quite well from what I
the thing is I don't have anyone to practice with, so it's just me
in front of a mirror
trying to think of a German interpretation for whatever it is that I've just said to myself. So there isn't although my neighbour is Swiss, but I think she's Swiss French, not Swiss German. She does obviously speak German. I saw her this morning. I spoke to her in German this morning, and she just smiled at me and spoke in French. So
I know Achtung.
Attention.
Because that's on like every bit of kit that we have on the farm.
Yeah.
And Sugverteiler, is that fertilizer spreader? Sugverteiler, something like that.
Sugar.
If that's probably how you pronounce it. If there's anybody German watching, I'm sorry if I've offended you with my awful.
My German is like, I speak ein bisschen Deutsch. I don't speak much.
that's your accent is spot on.
Well, I have the surname Schemmel. I should be.
Well, that is true. That is true.
But no, so I spoke to her mainly in English. She could speak completely fluent English, as pretty much all German people can.
Yeah.
But it was just like an interview. I think it's going to be an article. It's about Brexit actually.
Okay.
And
that's awesome.
But I think they're going to want to come and do a TV one next week about.
That's awesome.
About what's it called?
You're going to be
and I'll butcher some German maybe at the beginning of that. I'll say hello, and then I'll say.
You're going to be on
my English is bad, but my German is worse.
On the German television. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe she may not. Yeah.
No, but you definitely got this on. There's going to be online.
There's something online. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. No.
Speaking about farming things too.
That's awesome.
Other countries, which is always fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose with something like Brexit, that sort of, you know, you can sort of delve into Europe, can't you, with that?
Yeah, I mean, what I said, well, I'll tell you what I said, because I just said it publicly, but to Germany, so I'm not afraid to say it publicly here, is that I was very in favour of Remain for Brexit.
Yeah.
And I probably regret being so in favour of Remain, because there is, now this isn't to say that I've changed my mind, I would still vote Remain. However, I was quite fervent, and I don't think it's it's something that I've just learned as I've got older. It's not good to be too into any, whether it's political or anything. It's always good to be open to other ideas.
Oh, you want to be open, yeah.
So I think that's what I mean by that, and I think that the problem is with both Leave and Remain. The problem is with Brexit is we're not flipping over it, right? It's been a long time.
I was thinking this the other day. It's been like what, 10 years since the referendum? 9 years since the referendum?
It'll be 9 years.
That's
9 years this year.
I don't know where that's gone.
Yeah. So it'll be 10 years next year, and you just sort of think, and you still see in the comments like. Let's say it's about farming and inheritance tax. There'll be some idiot in the comments. Well, you all voted for Brexit, so this is, you know.
I'll get that all the time.
You just go, guys. This is like nearly 10 years ago. But like, so this is what I said to this German lady. I was like, but I wish that because there is that ignoring immigration and all the other sort of stuff that takes up headlines, there is an argument for leaving, right? And there's a very strong argument for remaining. But the other thing with the Remain argument is that the Remain argument ended up focusing on how much they just didn't like Leave voters and Leave voters. And you're just thinking, this is so stupid and divisive. We didn't actually talk about any sort of real problems.
Issues,
The main thing I said that agriculture's struggling because we're no longer in the common agricultural policy, and no government seems to care less about us.
Yeah.
Like you said in the last video, if you adjust it for the inflation, the ag budget would be about 7 billion, something like that. It's now 2.5, and none of it's in direct payments.
I'm looking forward to reading your.
It will be in German. So.
Oh, okay. Can I just copy and paste it into Google Translate?
Yeah, just put it in the Google Translate. So, but like
this Costa, by the way, I always think it's the best one.
It's the best Costa. I mean, I hate to tell you this, they're like McDonald's. Every single one is the same.
Yes, but I'm just used to. Do you want anything in particular, or are you just going to go?
Just a double.
That's the back window.
Just double espresso.
Double espresso.
Yeah, Dankeschön.
You want to eat? Are you right?
No, I'm fine. Yeah.
Hi, could I get a double espresso, please?
Most interesting bit of the video.
Yeah, could I get a cappuccino, regular cappuccino, please?
Yeah, anything else?
That's it, thank you.
Lovely, drive off.
Oh,
cheers.
Just gonna try and take things out of your glove box.
There's not really much in there.
Well, I don't know. Woo! Water regulations.
Oh gosh, I had a whole thing with Anglian water.
It's got a Massey on it.
There's this for bird watching.
And
there's some sweets for the children.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I had to do this. Yeah, we got inspected by the water people. I didn't mind that. I didn't mind stuff like that.
The guy was alright. There's one thing I have to do.
He's a lovely guy, yeah.
There's one thing I've got to do within a month, and I think I've got about like 3 days left to do it.
I had to do that. Was it water troughs?
No, it was a water bowser. It's got to have a...
They're really good strict.
Yeah, it's good. It's just the way that the water mains is connected to our bowser. This is for like a portable tank for spraying.
Yeah.
Over at Farm
They don't want it to vacuum back through.
No, so I've got to put like a thing on it and...
You don't. This is a completely separate conversation because obviously we're at Costa. Oh, hello, the lady's there.
I don't have a Costa card, no.
Can I have a sugar as well, please?
You can do. Could I get a couple of sugars as well, please? Check.
One's
fine, thanks. That's great. Thank you. There you go.
They were worried with us with that the inlet valves in a couple of the.
Inlet valve, that's the word.
They want that below the water level, and they wanted it in case it rained a lot. They wanted it so that the water could escape.
Well, where I met him, we've got 2 or 3 really, really old sheep troughs, and I thought there's going to be something wrong with these, but there wasn't. They were absolutely fine.
It could be a certain rag, and I don't disagree with that at all because he's got a fair.
Thank you.
He's got a fair point.
That's great. There's your little teeny tiny one. Thank you.
It's my teeny tiny one, so I feel extra big while I'm drinking it.
Absolutely. We'll go park up and have a...
Anyway, what I was saying about Brexit, the big thing about Brexit is...
We're in our pickup, we've got a cup of coffee.
We're in a pickup, we've got coffee. The big thing about Brexit, and obviously farming has suffered, a lot of things have suffered, but the big thing is we've not... Right, whether you're for it or against it, it literally doesn't matter at this point because it's happened. And you can bitch all day about the fact that it shouldn't happen, but at the end of the day, you got to move on. It's like if you got dumped, you got flipping dumped. Just deal with it, right?
Get over it.
Got to make lemonade out of them lemons.
Froth.
And that annoys me is we've not done any of that. Like
No.
we could be the front door for Europe, for the world, because we've got London and all this sort of stuff. We could be the back door for America because we've got. I don't want us to be. We could be the back door for America because we've got good relationships with America.
Yeah.
Or we could declare ourselves a tax haven like Switzerland or something like that. And and I love this. I'm so annoyed that we never went down this. We never joined the trading bloc of the Nordic countries because I see ourselves as a sort of Nordic country.
I sort of see what you mean. Yeah, we could have done.
But what have we done? Nothing. We've floundered about for nearly 10 years. That's stupid.
I can't believe it's actually been that long since.
That's so stupid. Okay, it's not been. I think it's been 6 years since it was implemented.
No, I know, but the fact
that's the ridiculous thing about Brexit is we've not done anything. We've not. Like the only thing we've done is change the colour of our passports, and when you buy something, instead of saying EC on it, it says UKCA. That is the only
passport colours.
That the pound is worth less money now. But like apart from that, living my day-to-day life, there's no difference. And I sort of think, and I always think this, and I think this with like we can moan about the Labour government, but ultimately they're not really doing anything different than the Tory government did. No. And I sort of think, okay, I don't agree with them politically, but come on, have some balls and do something. Do something fun. Do something interesting. You've got in control of a country. Don't just reduce winter fuel payments. Figure out. Okay, reduce winter fuel payments and some pensioners will freeze. But somewhere along the line, make energy cheaper for everybody else.
Yeah, I think the energy thing is a big.
Like, what are you doing? It's just the same grey, boring crap for years, and that's the problem with Brexit. That's what I said to German anyway.
Well, I'm going to change the subject, right? Sort of on the same line. Yeah. What that Aldi looks completely. Have they made that bigger or something?
Yeah, dude. Like 3 years ago, look, it's gone green on the outside because of the rain.
Oh right, yeah.
It might have been in COVID, mate.
Point is, all I'm seeing all the time is just Aldi's going up all over the place.
Aldi, it's a family company, you know.
Yeah.
They're not owned by like shareholders and stuff. They're owned by like brothers and sisters.
No. Yeah, I'm trying to work out just how long that's been. This is
ages. It's like 3 or 4 years, dude. It's gone green because of rain.
I can see that. Yeah. I don't. I obviously don't get out.
I don't think rain. No. Do you not shop at Aldi?
No, don't shop at Aldi. Hayley sometimes does, but she goes to the new one up near Sywell.
Oh yeah, why?
I don't know. I think she just likes it. My wife is very particular.
It's further away from my house. It's definitely further away from your house.
I think it seems like me saying this Costa. See, I should know the Audi's there because I could Costa not that often, but it's like me. I always think this Costa's better than, and like you say, they're all the same. So my wife prefers that Aldi to this, but most of the time it's click and collect at Tesco because it's just convenient.
Yeah, I get a bit from Aldi and a bit from Tesco.
Yeah,
but I'm really particular about food. I want fresh food, I want British food, I want
German food.
Oh yeah, let's not get from Aldi. No, it's still British food from Aldi.
What is apart from like hot dogs? Like what's German food?
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. What's that?
It's like cabbage. It's delicious.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Do you like that?
Yeah. It's nice. Beer. That's the German. Schnitzel. Yeah, but that's just a sausage.
That's just a sausage.
That's what you said before. You said hot dog.
Hot dog. Well, that's what I can think of.
That's not really a hot dog. Frankfurter's a hot dog.
Yeah, of course it is.
You're thinking of Frankfurter.
Yeah, from Frankfurt.
Yeah. There's loads of German food. There's bread is German.
Bread.
Yeah, they're really into bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, bread and sausages.
Bread and sausages. It sounds quite sort of.
I tell you what is an interesting cuisine. This is like nothing to do with farming whatsoever. But when I went on the factory tour at Case in Steyr in Austria.
You didn't invite me.
No, they didn't.
You didn't invite me.
It wasn't my choice to invite you.
I'm still blaming you for not inviting me.
But we ate Austrian food, and Austrian food is I can't describe it but it's not like German food, and it's not like Italian food. It's its own thing.
Is it all like pastry?
No. It's lots of sort of like stews and dumplings and potatoes and cabbage. It's absolutely delicious. Like 10 out of 10 for Austria, because it doesn't. It looks like, I don't know what it looks like. It looks like it could be really traditional English food, meat, 2 veg style things, but it's not. It's got its own flavour going.
Does it?
Yeah. Austrian food's the bomb.
I'll have to look into that. You don't see many Austrian restaurants around here.
You don't see any. I don't see many German restaurants. You don't see many restaurants around here.
You don't really.
It's all just chain restaurants. Everything's boring.
I know you got.
This is grey pulp that I was talking about from Brexit. Oh, another Pret a Manger. Oh yeah.
Well, literally, the only thing is Costa and McDonald's. The rest of it is all like retail, and then up there.
But it's all the same stuff.
Behind,
you could go to like
That's all
Wellingborough, the nearest town. There'll be a B&M, a Pets at Home, a Next, and an Aldi, and a Costa.
It's basically
it's the same thing again and again.
But those restaurants over there, they're gone. Mazza's gone. Frankie Benny's is gone.
Yeah, Frankie
They're
Benny's.
closing the Odeon. Me and Dad went the other night for on the last night.
Did you? I went to the opening. When I was a kid.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I went to the opening because my friend, his dad was like, I don't know, he knew somebody, but we went to the opening. Yeah, they had a James Bond impersonator upside down the building and everything.
Did they? That's
awesome.
awesome.
It was wild.
What year was that?
Oh, I don't know. It was before secondary school, so I'd have been like 11 or so.
Okay, so what, late 90s then?
Yeah, late 90s.
I was trying to work out what date it was, what year it was, because me and Dad were there, and there were all these pictures up, you know, because it's been a sort of a staple for us. I mean, we should have gone more, but we used to, you know,
I've been in the last month, yeah.
I've been 3 or 4 times last month, yeah. Yeah, I took the kids a couple of times.
Further one in Northampton, if I'm being honest with you. It's cheap.
I do, it's cheap and the seats are great, but the thing is, getting there now has become such a ball ache.
Oh, driving down the 508. This is the most boring part of the boat. We're talking about driving in Northamptonshire. Northamptonshire is just a blob of grey. The whole of the UK is a blob of grey, and we could do so much better. This isn't even just farming specific. Like, it's just so flipping, just the same.
It is.
Crap.
I've read that Northamptonshire is being built on. It keeps beeping.
Northamptonshire is being built on.
Northamptonshire is being built on more than any other county in the whole of the country. Like development.
But it's just giant industrial buildings.
It is. It's literally just blobs of grey. That's a good
blobs of grey. Sometimes they paint them to look like the sky. That's exciting.
I know.
I know. I hate when you drive down the M1 and then there's a building and it's various different shades of blue, and you think, Jesus Christ. What is
that? Was nice and bright. That big new orange one they put up, self-storage.
Yeah,
it's a massive. No,
self-storage.
It's a massive.
Right, serious question, because this is slightly to do with farming. If you weren't tied to this country, as in you have land and a business and that sort of thing, if you just had a regular job, given everything that's happened in the last, let's say, 6 years, let's not be Labour government specific, last 6 years, not Brexit specific either, but sort of an amalgamation of everything crap, would you think about leaving the country?
I think I would.
So would I.
Actually, I think
education, crime, like I know
if things were different, I think I probably would have done already.
Yeah, I think like, you know, you got stuff like we both know a guy who died sadly, and the police didn't come. Okay, it was a non-suspicious death and everything. The police took like 13 hours, 14 hours to get out.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, it's a non-suspicious death. Obviously, you're not going to be in a rush, but it's still a death. You'd have thought you'd been there within a couple of hours, because otherwise you're just opening. And I know, you know, and I know people who are like in the middle of like cases and whatever, and they've got like a year-long backlog on going through mobile phone evidence, right?
That's silly.
So if you have to give them your phone for something, even if let's say it's boring, let's say it's not anybody, you know, it's a tax thing, you need to give them your phone. It's going to take them a year to even look at it before they even decide if they can prosecute. Like, and that's not even starting on the NHS. I mean, the NHS, I had a kid who was a bit sick when he was young. NHS, love everybody who works in there. My mum works in the NHS. My granddad works in the NHS. Love that. But
we're lucky to have it. But it's
still broken.
Yeah.
Like, and like, fair play to any government who tries to fix it. Like, I'm not trying to criticise any of that, but like, Jesus Christ. Like,
where would you go then?
I've no idea. That's what was going to be my second question, because I can't think of a viable country that I'd want to move to. Because when I was young, I lived for a bit in Canada. Canada seems to have all the same problems that we do.
Canada,
they seem to have all the same problems.
They do.
Have you ever seen how there's a guy on YouTube, and honestly, if I can't think what he's called, and he compares.
Don't smoke.
I do.
Oh, hang on, here we go. He's got one.
Yeah, no worries.
I gave up.
I did not.
Thank you.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah. The Zippo as well.
Yeah, it's a proper
Very
like that. No
fancy.
worries. Take it easy, man. It says, "Daddy, you're a stinky butt."
Does it?
I got it from my kid.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's going to beep again.
It's going to beep again. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, where would I live? Yeah, Canada. I was saying, but yeah, there's a YouTube channel, and it's a bloke, and he finds houses for sale in Canada and then finds a castle in somewhere in Europe, and it can be anywhere. So it has been in England and Denmark and anywhere.
Yeah.
And like, you'll have like a 2 up, 2 down house in Canada, but it's in a nice city, and it's like $3.5 million. Like, you think that we have a housing crisis? Like, Canada's absolutely.
To be honest, yeah. To be honest,
So it's Australia.
so that's the thing. I don't think I could go anywhere that wasn't English speaking.
Yeah,
So
that would be
and
difficult.
that narrows it down, doesn't it, to America, Canada, and New Zealand, Australia, and all of that.
Yeah, I don't think.
Like my own private island would be nice. But that's just
I don't know where I go. I have zero idea where I go. I have zero.
I think
idea.
I'd go west. I think I would go west.
Go west.
So it probably would end up being Canada or America, and probably more likely somewhere like.
I'd love to go and live in Canada, but maybe they'll sort themselves out a bit as well. But from what I see, I've not been there recently, and I used to live there, like I said. But what I see is they seem to have the same sort of problem. A struggling welfare state, a struggling this, aging population, all the same sort of problems that the UK has. The same sort of, the lack of independence still has a lack of small businesses and all that sort of fun things that make life interesting.
What they do have is just nice big open space.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's one thing that's really that really sucks about this country is me and you are both rural.
Yeah.
Like we're rural people, and I have to drive about 6 minutes from my village, go through 2 other villages to get to where the farm is. And it's like a rat race. There's cars everywhere.
Yeah,
and
the road by us has got so much worse.
Just like just here, we're in this big car park, and it's just like it's so busy, the UK, and it's not. It doesn't feel like it's busy in a nice way. And I'll say this: I haven't been to London a few times in the last year. London's busy in a nice way. I'll give London its due.
London's alright. I don't actually
dislike it. It's one of the biggest cities in the
world,
world, but it's busy in a nice way. I sort of like it.
Yeah.
But like the sort of never-ending suburbs and industrial estates that is Northamptonshire is a bit bloody, and A roads. It's just you just constantly hear in the background a roar of traffic.
Yeah, you do all the time. So the road to us is the rat race. Northampton to Kettering, they're just constantly. 8 o'clock in the morning, you used to be able to go down in my living memory. Just be able to go down. You didn't even have to look. Just pull out and off you go. Obviously, you'd stop and look, but you wouldn't have to wait for anything. Now, if you go down at 8 o'clock, you've got to wait for stream of traffic.
So that is one thing, that Canada and America have over and Australia have, and I guess New Zealand as well, to an extent, is that they've got less people. But I mean, Canada has a very small population, but.
We were on holiday in the US last year, me and Hayley, up in New England.
Yeah.
So we're in Maine, just below Canada, right on the top, northeast, and it's just space.
Space is nice.
It's just space.
I mean, we're very lucky.
Yeah, itching to go back.
We're very lucky with the farmers. I can not see anybody for a whole day, which is quite nice.
That's where I'd go. I'd go to Maine.
I don't know States. I've been to the States, but not. I've
got Maine license plate on.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it. Yeah. I went to North Carolina, which was lovely. But
yeah, I haven't been there. I've done quite a bit of America, but I haven't done North Carolina.
Canada was great. I definitely live in Canada, but it does seem to have the same problem. For the reason I love England as well, but the reason that if I didn't have a farm and a family and all that sort of stuff, hypothetically, if I was to leave, a lot of the same problems seem to be in those countries. But they seem to be in a lot of countries.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. I don't know.
Because I know that a lot of other European countries, like France has, they have a tumultuous government. Germany are about to have a tumultuous election. Spain has the weather. If you went to the south of France, Spain, or Italy, somewhere like that, is like, well, at least it's nice and sunny.
I was going to say, love Italy. I couldn't live there though, but I do love Italy. Italy's great. But
I could probably live in Italy. It's okay.
But I think, like I said, I would have to go somewhere where it's English speaking, because I don't know.
You want to go to the mountain? I could go to Switzerland.
I'd like to go to Switzerland. Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't live there.
You couldn't live in the Alps. I've been to Switzerland before.
Well, I could live in the Alps if I don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah, you might have to talk to people. It's Europe, isn't it? There's a lot of people about. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know.
No, that's interesting. It's not really interesting thought.
It's the sort of thing like, obviously farming ties you to the land in a way, and having a business and a family and relations and everything else. But I do look at the UK, and I do go, and I know a lot of people do it, and I think it's quite a hot thing that people talk about online at the moment. It's like, it sucks, and it doesn't seem to be a way of necessarily making it better.
Yeah.
Like, as in, I don't, even if I mean, I think I said it on the last video. I mean,
are we on video?
But like, obviously, I've got some problems with Rachel Reeves's inheritance tax policy. But looking past that and looking at her budget as a whole, like, she borrowed £40 billion, which is currently screwing us over with interest rates versus our inflation and our growth, and there's negative bond things. And you're just like, I hope the thing that she's doing is working. Like, being objective and wanting the country to do well, I hope it's going to work. But she borrowed, and it wouldn't matter if it was her or anybody else, they borrowed 40 billion more, which ultimately somewhere along the line has got to be paid, or at least the interest has got to be paid.
I know.
And you're like,
we're in such a weird
time.
Weird mess.
We're in a
messy
time. Yeah, it's like, isn't our debt more than our GDP? Isn't our debt about 120% of our GDP?
Yeah, something like that.
It's like, like when you think about that, it's incredible.
That is a hell of a,
It's incredible. Your higher rate of tax is 2.5 times the average income compared to your higher rate of tax in America, which is 6 times the average income.
Yeah. Going back to though what you just said about, so we've been invested in the land, and because we've been here for so many generations, haven't we? That's the thing. So if we were to move, if I was to take my family away, we've got to break that sort of.
And then you've got to move somewhere.
And then you've got to move somewhere, something, and all the crap that comes with that.
No, but here's the thing. And if, let's say you wanted to go into farming, like I've gone into farming later in life. I didn't start until I was in my mid-20s, right? The farm that we lived on, I didn't grow up on. Like my mum built it. It was just a barn in the middle of some fields that you guys rented. Yeah. And it takes a decade minimum.
And that was then though.
Yeah, and that was then. Just to get assimilated. Not that the farming community is not welcoming and warm. Everybody's lovely. But just to go, okay, I've got a clutch gone. Who's the best guy to call? It takes a decade to learn that sort of stuff. Who's all the contractors?
It does.
Who's going to be able to clip a hedge? Who do I know that can do this? All the nuances of running a business, because rural businesses are so intertwined and so based on knowing each other. It takes so long to set up that. To get any kind of a reputation, and that would be the same as if you wanted to go to Spain and open up a bar. It's going to take you so long to
of course
to settle in.
Yeah, because you don't. It's sort of an industry you wouldn't know. You're learning. But no, it is hard. No one can get into farming now.
Let's imagine now. Let's imagine that you just for land reasons, you sold your land here, and you bought land further north where it's cheaper, and you bought 50% more land. Right, so for every 100 acres you sold here, which is more expensive land, you went and bought 150 acres in the Pennines or something. Right? Yeah. How are you going to settle into Pennines? You don't know anybody.
Don't know anybody.
Who can you call? How can you? You don't know all the stuff. And it's all those relationships. And I'm not saying that the people in the Pennines wouldn't be. They'd be lovely. Of course they would. Yeah. But it would take. You just wouldn't know.
No, and the land itself, as daft as it sounds, the land itself, you know where all your good bits are, your bad bits are.
Right. Here's one thing about farming that people don't understand when they go. This is even going into like large-scale contract farming.
It's been there for so many years.
And automation on farming. People don't understand that a farmer knows his land in the same way that, I don't know, you know a pet. Or something like that. Of course. You just know. 100%. You know not to do to be loud around your dog because your dog doesn't. All that sort of knowledge is instilled in you from such a young age, and you know where the wet corners are and where everything is. You can't, and that's why I've always had a problem with automation, too much automation on farm, because in Kansas you've got a 1,000-acre square field, press go and you go up and down. Right, it's great because it's just fucking 1,000 acres and it's flat, but it's just. My farm, you can walk from one side to the other in about 25 minutes. It's 300 acres, right? And it completely changes. I could tell you, I could talk to you for days about all the different things.
Well, I think a really good example would be when I'm fertiliser spreading. Say I'm in the old Ford with the dual power, you can knock it down so it goes a bit slower. I'll know which part of the field and knock it down so it goes a bit slower so it gets a bit more.
You couldn't write that in a book. You couldn't write all this information in a book. No. You could. So they used to have almanacs. I thought about writing an almanac, but I can't flipping write to save I can't read and write. I really wanted to write a Red Hill Farms almanac. Yeah, I should just record
it. That'd be good. That would be good.
It'd be cool. All the little weird, but like all the trees, you'll know all the trees, and you'll know which one you pruned 5 years ago, and you'll know where there used to be a fence and there used to be a hedge, and there's a ditch here, but that sometimes blocks up. So I've got to clean that every 2 years. I do wish, and all that sort of stuff.
I do wish that there was more sort of note taking in the past, because the farm has gone under a lot of change, even in the last 2-3 generations. It's gone under a lot of change.
Isn't that the same with? That's the same with everything, dude.
There's no sort of record of it.
Do you not wish that you do that? So like, let's say, have you got, so this truck has some panels welded on the outside. Yeah. Do you have any before and after photos of it?
Yes, and I might even have a thing.
No way!
Don't know. Yeah, you might never be able to close this again.
So like, so I just got the 5300 back, which is an old John Deere that I used to run.
You got to slam it. Oh, actually,
I got it. Oh wow! You doing like Steve, like cousin Steve? You keep a record of it. Hold that up. It's like all the stuff he's done.
All the stuff we do to the truck, yeah.
Okay, I wish I'd done that, because everything like that's in my head about my whole farm.
But I'm not sure.
I take photos of everything.
It was 2 Christmases ago, 2 years ago, that we did all the work on it.
Yeah.
I don't think I put that It was only the chassis. The chassis had a hole in it, so it failed as MOT. So me and Ray had it up on the ramps, and we took the back off, and we did the chassis up, all real nice and everything, and we welded up the.
Did you take pictures of it before and after?
Oh yeah, I got pictures.
Yeah, so what I do, because I'm not very good at writing, is I'll take pictures of stuff. So that I'll take pictures of stuff I do around a farm throughout the year, and then I can go back year on year and go, this is, I mowed this meadow here, and the clove wasn't quite right, so next year mow it 2 weeks early or 2 weeks later or something like that. Yeah, but my almanac is like purely visual.
That's not a bad thing.
I can't write.
It's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing.
But that leads me to something I did want to talk about on this whole thing, which is forgetting the current government, forgetting inheritance tax, almost forgetting the last government, forgetting Brexit, forgetting COVID, going back to sort of farming. I really think, and I don't think that we can solve this with protests, and I don't think it's necessarily the government's fault, although it'd be nice to see a dynamic view from any government whatsoever. But I think that in this country, farming is quite broken.
Oh yeah.
Because even let's go back 10 years ago, so let's go back pre-Brexit and everything else. Most people just grew wheat rape, who grew cereals. That's around here. But then if you're growing up around here, as both of us did, that feels like the only option. There's a few people who had a few sheep. There's every now and again there's a cattle farmer, but there's no like veg guys. There's not really anyone growing barley, let alone oats. There's nobody sort of growing sunflowers. There's nobody growing.
No, it was very much sort of wheat rape,
and there was money to be made in it back then. But even now, so I've got all grass now, and I've sort of thought about doing cattle on a like a rotational grazing sort of thing, because it'd fit in with my ethos and my passion. I can't make it work on paper. I cannot make it. Well, I would lose money doing that compared to what I'm doing now. And I just sort of think that, like, let's take all politics out of it, I guess, but just sort of go, in the grand scheme of growing food, like when I was at college, when I was 17, we were told that we're just going to have to diversify to make money, and that's what we've all done.
Everyone's diversifying the same way. So
That's the other thing. Yeah. How many, like,
it's Airbnbs,
pumpkin patches, loads of units for like almost all car people cutting and shutting stuff. And you think, but like the actual growing food, when you drive along the road in this area, and it might be different in other areas, but in this area, you're just going past tired looking fields that are waterlogged with a not half-assed as in the farmer's done a bad job. It's just, we've been farming in the same way for 45 years. So the crop looks half-assed, and we keep getting these wet winters and everything. So this half-assed wheat crop coming up, they're going to have to throw loads of nitrogen out, you're going to make a mess, and it's the same thing. And I go north, and it's the same thing. I see you go further north, and you see a field of maize that they've taken for clamp silage, and it's just absolute shit. And I don't blame the farmers. I'm not trying to slag people making maize. What I'm saying is that there's not much oomph in the industry to sort of do. You couldn't all of a sudden go, do you know what, I'm going to look at doing like an actual commercial, not like some small little niche thing, an actual commercial apple orchard, or an actual commercial onion farm, or sort of anything.
It's the capital investment needed to change and diversify. And someone made a fair point.
And supply chains is completely tied up.
Someone said, and it was really, really good comment, actually, saying it just shows what state the industry is in when a farm like say my farm, for instance, we're not a massive farm, but we've got quite there's a few hundred acres, and we can't afford to go and buy big fancy new kit. We have to make ends meet. We're having to run old kit and keep that old kit going.
Yeah, pretty much. Because you don't see that. Let's say you don't see that with buses. No, you don't see that with taxi drivers. Exactly. You don't see that with lorries. You definitely don't see that with Uber drivers. And Uber drivers, as far as I'm concerned, are paid slave wages. But you don't. Those guys are driving around in Teslas. But for some reason, it's bad for a farmer to have a 2021 plate tractor. You think, no, we're supposed to be but you can't. Let's say that you.
It's just not.
I don't know. Let's say that you did like a degree at college and you were really passionate about veg and stuff. Like, it's just what. It just seems that it's wheat rape, maybe a bit of barley. If you're feeling very exotic,
it's down to land. And,
but it is. Regional, but it also isn't. I've got deeds from my farm for 100 years ago, and it was pigs and potatoes.
Pigs and potatoes.
Right. So you could do different things. That doesn't exist now. Or if you drive around this countryside now, you can see a bunch of defunct pig houses. Yeah. You can see them because there's a silo that's slowly rotting. Yeah. So in the 70s they built these pig houses, and they didn't just. It went bust or whatever. But like as a whole,
No,
as a whole, and when you come out of college, they sort of just teach you to do the same thing, so everybody ends up doing the same thing, and there isn't that.
I'm gonna get de-steaming.
Yeah, do it. There isn't that, and that's what I really wanted to probably. So I probably should have said this as German. That's what I really hoped.
Can you do the rest of the video in German, please?
No, I can't speak it that well.
I'm gonna understand you if you did.
But that's a real shame from Brexit. It's like, okay, I'll give you an example. I didn't, and I never did, and I was very critical of them. I never liked direct payments, right? I think that direct payments are the reason that the industry is so stale to begin with. You get paid a set amount, whatever, and everybody just goes, okay, well, wheat's a cash crop. Now, to me, I was like, I never viewed wheat as a cash crop. I was like, I can go and make more money doing other things. So I went and did those other things. I hated fucking growing wheat. But wheat's so boring. But it's just grey blob. But that's what everybody does. And it all just gets sold to 2 or 3 companies who also conveniently enough sell you the chemical and the seeds, and you're just like, so what are we doing?
It's
like, what are we actually doing?
Yeah.
So when we did leave the European
wheat.
No, I know, and I've grown it in the past. But like,
we've actually said goodbye to red tractor and all the bureaucracy.
Yeah, but it's just like when we left the European Union, a real dynamic government who actually wanted to spend a decent amount of time focusing on food could have written a really interesting direction for food to go. Like post World War II, the government were clearly interested in food production and food sustainability and feeding the people, and they and some of the things they did were wrong, but a lot of the things that they did were right at the time. And throughout the war, we're capable of doing these amazing things, but it feels like for most of my farming career, us as an industry, and there's other industries that are the same, struggling with the same thing, it feels like we're walking through just mud, going barely anywhere.
But I think it's difficult because, you know, in order to get through the mud, you've got to buy those big, fancy, expensive boots.
You do, and the other thing is you've got to go build, because everything's...
When you're only just ticking over, how can you expand?
Right. Okay, so this is my problem. I'm
gonna head back towards yours.
So one of my things is that I always think if you want an industry to do, I'm just gonna look at this from an animal welfare point of view. Let's just ignore the rest of the industry just for a second. And let's say that you're a vegan and you don't like how pigs and cows and sheep and whatever else are looked after, right? Let's just say that you're not, right? We're not gonna get into whether that's right or wrong. Let's just say that you're not.
I love beef.
Well, yeah, so do I. I love beef. But what you actually want, and this is the same for everything. This is the same if you're not happy about the quality of care that you're getting in hospital. If you're not happy about the quality of something, you're not happy about the environment, and you're not happy that what farmers are doing. I don't think farmers are particularly doing that much wrong, but let's say that you're not. What you want is more money in that industry.
Yeah.
Right? Not less.
Yeah.
And this is the same for every single industry, because when there was money in farming 200 years ago, right, which was a fucking long time ago, but when there was money in farming, post-war, innovation happens. Because
that's it.
Because when if you're selling a lamb for 100, what's a lamb worth now? 120 pounds, 110 pounds.
Yeah, at least that.
They're doing well now. Yeah, but 10 years ago they were worth 70. It's barely keeping up with inflation. It's still like, and people go, that's good price. Like a good price for a lamb should be 250 quid. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
So, but the point is that if you're most of our industry and a lot of industries, pubs are the same as this and everything else, but if most of our industry are only just breaking even and only just ticking over, and this is the same for this. You know what? This is the same for households. This is why I'm always sickened about how poorly we look after new mothers in this country. But separate issue. Same sort of thinking though, is that if the industry is constantly on its knees, if we're constantly being bullied into taking lower prices, if we're constantly being forced to pay higher inputs, and we're facing weird tax things, and all that does is reduce the quality of everything. It reduces the quality of the food because you're only eating 1 or 2 different grains. It's boring. There's only 3 types of tomatoes in Tesco's. It's crap. But not only that, everything suffers and nothing gets pushed forward. Yeah. Like, when was the last time?
Stagnating.
When was the last time any entrepreneurial, and I didn't say that right, but entrepreneurial farmer bred an entirely new breed of sheep and it was better. All that stuff happened in the 1820s.
Because all of that's been done.
No, but it hasn't. We could keep pushing forward. Like America post the war was like encouraging farmers to breed better varieties of whatever crop it was and then swap those seeds with each other so everybody did better. And we don't have that because we're constantly just stopping the tide coming in because we're constantly almost broke.
Yeah.
And this is the same for a lot of other industries. But that doesn't, at the end of the day, to give an example, is because most people are not making that much money, they'll probably keep that ewe and probably try and get 2 more lambs out of it, when really she should probably go.
Yeah.
And that affects quality, that affects everything, and you just sort of think, and that's the same for everything. It's a bit like using, like you said, you're still having to use old tractors, but taxi drivers aren't using old taxis.
Yeah,
like
that's a really good sort of,
It's like, if you care about animal welfare, you want farmers to be paid more, because if they pay more, they will focus, not that farmers don't focus on animal welfare, but they will focus on it more.
Yeah, of course.
Right? If you care about the environment, you care about people getting sprayed and spraying and chemicals and all that sort of stuff, you want farmers to be paid more. Not because you want farmers to be greedy, but if and this is the same with everybody, I can use the new mothers argument as well. You know, like in new mothers in this country, we go, oh, you can have a year off. No, you can have a year off with not being legally fired. You get like 6 weeks worth of pay and then it's on a sliding scale. How we look after new mothers is friggin' awful. Like, it's awful. And like, you don't get like any kind of childcare for like the first 2 years. But what that does is like, not all the time, obviously, but a lot of the time it adds to postnatal depression. It adds to feelings of loneliness. It adds to, do you know what I mean? Unhappy childhoods and unhappy homes growing up because people are really struggling, and rather than helping, then what that does is that just produces more problems down the line.
Yeah, of course.
So what would be a cheaper thing to do is just go, the cheapest thing to do is to look after mothers, because then it gives kids the best start, and then we're not having to fix all the broken problems later on in life and invest in all these public services to fix those problems. And it's the same with farming. If you care about the environment, you want farmers to have a load of money, because then your environment will get looked after, because farmers, generally speaking, own that land, or at least are incredibly emotionally invested in that land.
We're very
so
emotionally
they want to look after it.
Well, it's like I said a few minutes ago, it's generations.
It's generations.
It's been here for generations.
So, like, not paying, like, if you want, like, if you're really care about animal welfare, let's say you're a vegan or something, but you accept that some people want to eat meat, what you want is expensive meat, where the producers are paid well, because those guys and girls are going to look after those animals well, because they have the almost not leisure time, but for lack of a better word, they've got that disposable income within the business to focus more on innovation and better ways of doing things and better breeds and being able to get out there more and hire more staff and more better welfare. But if we're constantly on the edge of not making any money, which we have been for decades.
But when you actually, and when you actually sit back and think about that, how, you know, what a sort of fundamental industry farming is or was.
It's so ridiculous that we don't
focus
silly. On it. It's like motherhood. It's like, I always say to people go, oh, you know, AI, technology, all of that is wank, right? The most incredible things in the whole world are the lighter that's in my pocket and a glass of clean drinking water. Because 100 or so years ago, those two things weren't that possible.
Tractor.
Hey, but like, you know what I mean? Like, we're so lucky to be able to have heating and clean drinking water and fire, right?
Interesting point.
And food, but we don't care. Those things, like, we've sold off all our public utilities when it comes to water. Like, those sort of things are so really important, and we just completely forget about
We
them.
do, we do.
Focus on AI, who cares?
Interesting fact about the cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
It was invented before matches.
Was it?
Yeah.
Matches not that old.
That chemical reaction that happens, how some, well, a bit nerdier than me will explain it.
It's two chemicals mixed.
Yeah, that wasn't discovered until after someone had
done the lighter
with the flint and everything.
That makes sense. Light's pretty cool, but like stuff like that, I just think it just gets. The water industry is another perfect example. We sold it all off to foreign countries, so it's just money leaving our economy and going somewhere else.
Driven this way.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go that way because the boys paint turn right on.
And but like having clean drinking water is one of the most best things. It's like such an amazing thing that we've done as a society for 40,000 years before us. Humans didn't have that, and we're completely wasting that. And it's the same with like healthy, affordable, sustainable food. Is we're just like, and we don't care about that. What we care about is the other thing. And you think that should be, and it's like health or the fire service or whatever else. That should be like That's the most important. Those are the most important things. But they're usually the people who are like least well paid. Like nurses aren't well paid, teachers aren't well paid, farmers aren't well paid. All the people who do the shit jobs, all the people who lay water pipe, make sure your electricity, they're all on like 25 grand a year.
And they're the things that we need to actually keep going and living and surviving.
Basically, everybody who can to carry on working throughout COVID is paid not much above minimum wage and is always shitted on. But they're literally the most important people in society. And we've got it completely arse backwards. And farming is.
This one is when it comes down to it, it's such a sort of a fundamental industry, isn't it? Farming. We've got to eat. We've all got to produce food to eat. So why are we as an industry being treated so strangely? It just seems so like an alien thing.
It's not just us. Like right now, where was it? I sent it this morning. There's massive protests in Turkey or Greece. They're also tractor protesting. Hang on, I'll find out where it is. So there's these big tractor protests in Greece, and they're back out tractor protesting in the Netherlands again, and in France again. And you're like, and I listened to a podcast called Barn Talk. Well, I really quite like. I don't listen to a lot or watch a lot of farming content online. I do listen to Barn Talk. I really enjoy. It's a father and son.
You follow Nick's farm, right?
No.
I don't even follow Nick's farm.
But there's a father and son in Iowa, they're hog farmers, but they'll talk about hog farming and maybe it'll make money, maybe it won't. They talk about the grain farming. They're like, pretty much loses money every year. You're like, this is how is this a thing? Like how is it so broken? I have no idea how to fix it. By the way, I know I'm ranting about it. It's not like just here's Will's 5-point plan. I don't have that. I just think it's so interesting.
I don't have all the answers.
I don't have all the answers, but
the questions were not the answers.
What I'm saying is if you want better results, it has to be. It's like, I don't know. It's like anything, isn't it? You I don't know. You give people less money and less resource. If you take away, and this happened literally in COVID, but if you take away everybody else's source of fuel, they'll burn the furniture to stay warm, right? To use a sort of metaphor, and that happened. Energy prices went right up after COVID, like ridiculously high gas bills. So what did people do? They went and opened up the old chimneys that they used to have, or log burners, and they chucked a load of logs in there, which is probably worse for the environment, which completely counteracts the idea of raising the energy prices, because a lot of that's to do with wanting to use less energy and wanting to pollute less. But what you've ended up doing is people still want to be warm, so they'll literally burn anything they can to survive.
That's why I want a wood burner, so I can burn it.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's not. Point is it's not. It's not going to encourage. Like if people had the disposable income and the disposable time in order to focus on themselves and their family, you'd have happier families, healthier people. And everybody's just, and it's a bit like we said with the rat race around here. Everybody's just rushing.
Rushing all the time
to seemingly just break even. Right. That seems to be like the end goal of everybody, is to just make do.
I think that's it. Just to tick over and end the day the same and start the new day the same again.
Judas, like I was saying,
Groundhog Day, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I was saying to you the other day when we were talking about the bond market with Rachel Reeves. But like people who loan money to our government in bonds, in government debt, they're only doing it, and they're only basically breaking even when you compare the rate of return they're going to get on it to the rate of inflation and growth. So if you've got £10,000, you put it into a government bond, you take it out a couple of years later, it's basically just grown with inflation. You're not necessarily better off. Billions of pounds trillions of pounds is put into that. So that's presumably trillions of pounds worth of, we don't know what else to do with this money. Hopefully in 5 years' time, we're going to be in the same position, which is ridiculous. Like, it's so ridiculous that we're so much in debt, and that even big companies struggle. Tesco's made 4 billion profit. They did. I want to know pre and post. I want to know gross and net, because and how much did they spend to get 4 billion? Because if it was 26, then they're probably doing worse than the farm.
I was going to say,
there's just a lot of them. That's not to forgive the supermarkets, but like
the devil is in the detail.
It
always is.
I just really, and I really wish that there was. So to go back to, would you want to stay in this country and everything? So to ignore all that and go,
I'm going to cut all that out of the video. That sounds like an edit.
But I've got this land. Right? I've got it. It's mine. Or it's my dad's, whatever. We've got this land. I can do anything with this land. I could grow hemp, pumpkins, potatoes, trees, anything I want, right? I do, but we don't. We just tend to do these few sheep, cows, wheat, grape, barley. Like, and you just go.
Or so.
You go, why?
We won't talk about solar.
constant phone calls from people wanting to buy.
Oh God, it's every frigging week, man.
But there isn't enough money and there isn't enough possibility in the industry because of supply chains and things like that to really do anything really innovative. A few people do. A few people do, and it's generally in organic markets, but that's because they don't have the kind of closed system that a lot of conventional farmers do have. So they're a bit more open to be able to sell different places. But
I think it's very easy to say we've got to diversify when it actually comes down.
It's so hard. It's impossible.
You can't.
It's not impossible. It's really hard.
You can do a few. There's a few things you can do, but they're not going to do. They're not going to be anything particularly special.
Also, by the time you've let's say you wanted to open up, and I don't want to pick on this because I have a friend who does it. I think he does a really good job, and I actually plant some of the sunflowers for it.
Oh, sunflowers.
But, pick your own type thing. I think it's brilliant. But honestly, by the time that you've got the seed, put the portaloos in, hired the 5 members, 5 members of staff, built the car park, are you really? You're going to be probably making more money per acre than I am on my hay bales. But it's a lot of effort for not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because everybody does. It's still hard work. There's no goose that lays the golden egg at all.
Versus return.
Yeah, and that's why. But
I mean, you don't get anywhere without hard work in this.
No.
But I do see your point.
My point is that it's stale in this country, and it's very stale in this industry.
And it's very hard to do anything different within the industry.
Yeah.
Like diversify.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
because everything's all tied up. Everything's tied up with a boat.
Yeah. Exactly. And there's so much.
You can. I do stuff different. I farm a little different. It's not wildly different.
No, but you're just sort of suiting your own sort of.
I'm suiting
lifestyle.
my own personality.
Yeah, and your own personality. That's the way.
My own weird hippie beliefs and my own love of grass.
Yeah.
So
no, I think farming's in such a weird place.
But I can't make anything else paper. So like I've got this 5-year agreement with country association. There's no country association for 5 years time. It might be SFI in 5 years time.
It might all be gone.
Very quickly going broke.
Yeah.
But even assuming it is, I'm going to have to do some different because a bit like you, I put a lot of. They've reduced the amount that you're allowed to put into a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So next year, in the next 5 years, I'm going to have to.
It's their own bloody fault. No,
yeah, it's their own fault. But if I wanted to leave the farm as the same as it is now, in 5 years' time, I'd be minus about 20 grand, right?
Yeah.
So I've got to figure out a way to make 20 grand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's the profit. That's the profit that I'm going to be losing 5 grand a year, right? Yeah. So how am I going to do do that? Well, like I said, I've looked into cattle. I mean, those two things are basically just loss making straight away.
You have to look into these things. You have to plan.
I can't make any of it. I can't make any of it pencil. None of it makes sense.
Things with farming, it's long term as well.
Yeah.
You've got to think yourself 3, 4, 5 years down the line. Especially with these government schemes that we're both part of, aren't we?
Yeah. But
you've got to think what we're going to do after if they do disappear. You've always got to be that on the front foot.
But yeah, but it's depressing. So, like the system I've got set up, right now is the most that could potentially be the most profitable I could ever be.
Yeah.
And I'm only from 5 years when I leave this scheme. Sorry, 4 years time, I'm going to be potentially never as good as I am now because I can't see a way to make as much money. I'm not making that much money. Like I said, I'm making 15 grand profit. I can't see a way to make more than that in the future.
Yeah.
I looked at doing a version of a Norfolk 4-course rotation.
Yeah.
So 1 year week.
The old school.
But yeah, old school, but tying it in with these SFI schemes. So 1 year wheat, then followed by autumn turnips, and then.
You're going to turn around in your yard.
Yeah, and then
a battery just.
Yeah, I know. It's from my dad's thing, and then I think it was what's the after? So there's the turnips, and then it was an AB8 mix, AB9 mix, AB9 for a year, and then with undersown clover. And then the undersown clover is the GS4 for a year, so you've got your year's worth of clover like you would in the Norfolk 4 course. And then the last year I would put in a whole crop sown into after the undersown clover.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be a good way to get the most amount from schemes and also have things to sell, whole crop to sell, GS4 to sell, so in clover and bales. Rent out the land with turnips off sheep, so it's an income, and sell the wheat. If I did all of that, I would make the same amount of money, well actually about 600, 700 quid less than I am now.
Yeah, it's great.
Doing all that more work.
So, yeah, like I say, it's effort versus return, isn't it?
Yeah, because of the way that the government, and this is the past government, not the current government, but because of the way that they've stripped out so much from our industry, we're struggling compared to how we used to be. Yeah. But I can't see a way in 5 years' time where I'm going to be making more. All the same, yeah. I will probably be making a loss compared to where I am now.
yeah, it's worrying because you got to really.
You can't.
Something beeped. I don't know
Was it the camera? Well, you can't even like. I can't even
it's
like.
still on, I think.
Yeah, I can't even be like, oh, I'll plough it all up because I'll probably make a loss.
No, but things are ever changing because one minute they're going on about food security, the next minute they're going on about the environment. It's this, that, and the other. And by a few years from now, it's probably everything's going to be gone. All these subsidies, everything's going to be different. And the thing is, what's really got to me over the last few years is they do keep changing their mind what they want. They're not even telling us. We're farmers. We should just be able to produce something, sell it, and make a profit, rinse and repeat. When it comes down to it, it should just be as simple as that. It should just be as simple as that. We buy some wheat seed, put it in the ground, grow some more wheat, sell it.
And I don't understand, and you could use this in loads of different industries. Why? And you got the argument against that, Nick, is that our cost of production is going to be higher than somewhere else. So people are not going to buy British food; they're going to buy food from somewhere else.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a fair argument because our cost of production is very high. Let's say we have no subsidies at all. Yes, our cost of production is going to be very high. But isn't our government's responsibility to look after business within its own borders?
Of course it is.
Regardless of the fact that it's agriculture or anybody else.
Of course
But
it is.
surely you should be encouraging, minimum payments, headage pay. I don't know what the solution is. I don't have a solution.
All I know is we're bringing in all this produce from outside, aren't we? All this wheat from wherever. They're not even meeting insurance schemes because they don't need it in their country, and then it's all getting mixed in the same frigging batches. That's how we've got to go through all the red tape to.
I think Gareth Wyn Jones said on one of his recent videos that the UK is self-sufficient in lamb, but we sell a third and then we buy a third in.
Yeah, it's backward. It's backward. It's so backwards. It's so backwards.
Because market prices change slightly throughout the year, and all of a sudden, just for a little bit, it's cheaper to buy New Zealand lamb. No offense to New Zealand lamb, it's just stupid. Like why? Like
it does make no sense.
Not to try. I'm really not like overly nationalistic kind of guy, but surely, the whole point of everything is to look after your own guys first.
You'd have thought so.
Not in a Trumpy America first sort of way, but you would have thought this isn't even agriculture specific, but you go, oh, you're never going to be able to compete with imports. I feel that's a government problem. That's a government problem.
Yeah.
Like to ensure that your own guys aren't making a loss.
I know, it makes
because you can't be bothered to put a tariff on it. Or even just sit down and think about it.
I know.
Don't even think.
I don't know how we've managed to get into such a mess, but we have.
Seems to be a global mess.
It's a global mess.
Seems to be a global mess.
I've got to go pick my kids up.
You go pick your kids up. I'm going to ride a horse.
You're going to ride a horse?
You're going to ride the big horse.
You're going to go ride a horse?
I'm going to ride a horse right now.
I know you can ride.
Bareback.
Bareback. Do you go bareback?
Yeah, I don't
know. Hurt your bollocks?
No. Counterintuitive.
Do you wear a cup?
Nope. Counterintuitive. I've really badly, years ago, it might be the reason I had to have IVF. I really badly hurt my bollocks while riding a horse.
Oh, yeah.
I had to go to the doctor. But, no, I prefer bareback because everything goes to one side of the spine, I've found. But when you're on leather, you've got this pad of leather and everything just gets smushed.
Right.
But when it's...
do you sort of sit more to one?
I just find a bit like it goes to one side in your trousers. Just sort of goes to one side.
Yeah.
It's actually more comfortable. Plus, I don't really like the feeling of being hemmed in with your feet in the steering.
No.
I kind of like to bareback.
No. Do you have anything? Do you have reins?
I have reins.
So you got all the
just a head strap.
Yeah.
Head strap and reins.
What's your horse called?
Gamble. It's not my horse, but I ride him. Sort of. He's not my horse. Belongs to someone else. We've got him on that permanent loan. For all intents and purposes, I ride him. Ruth also rides him every now and again, and it belongs to another person.
Fair enough.
He's a big old boy.
So that's what you're doing now. You're going to go ride a horse.
Right now, I'm going to go ride a horse.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go look at my farm.
You're going to look at your farm.
6 meters in the air. 6 meters? 6 meters.
6 meters. How big's your freaking horse?
8 foot in the air. I bet.
8 foot in the air. To be fair, we're going to wrap this up, but I'm itching to get back on a horse because I used to do a lot of riding.
You can ride him quickly if you want.
Yeah, I've never got time now.
No, I probably got to pick his feet.
But I'll hold you to that. I'll do
Next time we record this, we'll do it. We'll put in 20 minutes first, and you can go for a walk around it.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Honestly, because
I've got a saddle for him if you feel more comfortable in the saddle.
I'm easy either way. I can jump on a horse like that. I'm happy. I'm confident.
You used to ride loads when you were a kid, yeah.
Used to ride loads as a kid. My son, he's learning how to ride now, so we're on the lookout for a horse for him.
I should make this very clear. I can't ride. I can go in, walk, bareback, slowly around a field while I have a smoke.
I love it.
And that's about it.
I love it.
I don't want to do anything else. He trots every now and again, and I get very excited. And I'm like, whoa, there's a bit much. Let's wrap it up.
Well, let's use horse as the code word.
If you met, oh my god, right, love the comment. Right, just quickly, Nick's right. Horse is the code word, not donkey.
Yeah, if you've watched this far through the video, write horse in the comment below.
Yeah, love it. The amount of people who did that blew my mind. All the comments were brilliant. Loved it. Read every single one. Love people. So
you're talking about the first
episode. I loved it. It filled me full of joy.
Full of joy. Yeah. So if you've still been watching us rambling on, then
and if you've got anything to say about anything we said, positive or negative, I don't care. You might disagree with something I've said. I don't mind. Let me know, because I'm always eager to learn and change my mind.
Yeah. Sorry if I've been a bit. I feel like I'm really tired today.
No, think about what country you'd like to move to.
I'm going to think about that. Well, I think it would be northeast USA. It would be the USA, and
I'd moved to Canada 20 years ago.
Yeah, but like you say, there's sort of.
But I might as well stay here if it's 20 years ago. I'm not going anywhere.
I don't know. I've got kids and.
No, of course she's not. It's a hypothetical.
It's hypothetical.
But the reality is the country.
Well, if it's hypothetical, I have my own island in the middle of the bloody ocean, with wheat. No, a lot of wheat.
You've got to go and get a job, man.
Yeah, I know. It's hypothetical. I don't know. No, I
just the wheat island.
I don't know. I'd go west. That's all I don't know exactly
Wales.
where.
Yeah.
No, a bit further than Wales. Over the Atlantic. No, over the Atlantic.
North.
It says Maine on the back of my truck. I'll just go there.
Just go there.
Yeah.
Maine and
In fact, I can't wait to go back. It's the best place ever. Yeah.
I should do more of America. I just can't bother.
I'm gonna have to pick my children up.
Yeah, you go. I'm gonna ride a horse.
Good to see you.
It's been real.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you,
Bye.
I always kaboom it.
Because you watched so much Scrubs as a kid.
So much Scrubs as a kid. I do it all the time to my kid. At bedtime, it's a fist bump. We always end the night on a fist bump. Yeah. I'm the only one who goes.
Your kid's like.
I've been waiting. Yeah, I've been waiting for years for him to go. He just goes.
Night, Dad.
Yeah.
That's so lame.
It's getting to the age now where, why don't you wrap this up?
Yeah, we'll wrap this up. We'll talk about kit, because we're a lot of kit we saw it like one.
We'll talk about Talk about all expensive kit that we can't afford.
Yeah, this is sort of the same as it was a few years ago.
It's basically the dealers aren't doing well.
I don't know. No, I feel sorry for all the tertiary industries.
I know. It's a whole thing, isn't it?
It's a whole thing.
Right. We'll leave it there and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.